Hello and welcome to Mediumship Matters with me, Hannah McIntyre. How are you doing? What follows is a recording of a reading that I just did for Kath, an evidential connection. And I want to make it absolutely clear, because if you listen to the podcast, you will know how important this is to me. This podcast is completely unedited. It is one recording from start to finish of the entire experience of the reading for Kath, including the ums, the ers, the repetitions, the pauses, and the no's, because it's really important to be honest about mediumship and how it works. So I hope you enjoy it, and if you listen all the way through, you will also be able to hear some feedback that Kath has since sent to me. So I hope that you enjoy.
Well, hi, Kath. Thank you very much for agreeing to be a sitter for me today. And I just want to tell everybody, Kath is one of my students. So I do know Kath very well, because I feel like you've got to be fair, haven't you?
Yeah, definitely.
I've just approached you in a supermarket and said, would you like a reading?
So
Kath does understand. I mean, Kath is a working medium, so she understands how spirit work. She understands all of the blurb that I would normally give at a beginning of a reading as said. And I just want to make that really clear, because I'm big on honesty. So, Kath, have you got anyone in particular you want me to try and get hold of for you today, or are you?
I'm quite open. I don't mind who you bring through. Yeah, I really don't mind. My granddad if you can, but like I said, I'm
Okay.
easygoing.
Fine. So obviously I'm aware of your granddad because I can feel him right here, but I would also say that he's joined by your grandmother. Is that correct? They're both in spirit.
That's correct.
Okay, because I think she might be the one that talks first, but I am aware of him, so I'll move to him afterwards, because she's a big communicator. She likes to talk. You understand this with your grandmother. Okay. Now, I want to talk about them being together a long, long time, and they feel like they've got a very traditional relationship, very gender stereotypical roles. Do you understand that? Yeah.
Yes.
But I also need to say that she's wearing the trousers. She's really in charge, even if he would like to pretend otherwise. And he's quite funny. He's like their role. I can feel him rolling his eyes and just going, we've got to let her talk first, because this is how it is.
Spot on. He would do that. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So he's there, but he's very tongue-in-cheek and playful, and I can feel their love, but I don't feel like they're a mushy couple. It's more sort of banter and him taking the mickey out of her, and she is trying to get everything how she likes it. Do you understand this?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Now, she is showing me, let me just work out what she's showing me. She's taking me into their home. Now, I want to talk about them living in the same house for a long time. Do you understand this?
Yes.
Okay. And she's taking me to a dining table and having everybody sat around it. So would you remember her enjoying hosting and having all the family over to sit around the table?
Yes.
Because I feel like this is her happy memories. She's got it all ready, and she's got, I don't know why I keep getting tablecloths at the moment. This is just, you know how you get certain things, but she's got a tablecloth that's quite old that she's got out because she's made it nice, and I can see her smoothing it all and getting it all ready. And this feels like her happy place, having everyone over, having the family in her house, hosting and being in charge, part of her personality as well. Yeah. Okay, good. And the reason why she's bringing me to it's so funny. She's getting out all of this stuff. She's got all the serving dishes are like from when the time began. She's got all this stuff that she uses every Sunday. Do you understand this? Or whenever she has everyone over.
Yeah, we had the same kind of stuff. Yeah.
She's still laying the table in the spirit world. I could just see her there, just getting it all ready. But I know that she wasn't able to do this towards the end of her life. There must have been a time where this stopped for her. Do you understand?
Yes.
Yeah, because she's taking me back to that feeling of being very in control, being very in command before things get in the way. Now, am I right in saying that she passes before your grandfather?
No,
wrong way round, bollocks. Let me just have another look here. Okay. Does she suffer with dementia or memory loss or something like that, Kath?
in the end.
In the end,
It was,
okay.
yeah, she had vascular. So yeah.
Right, okay. Because I just feel like there's this bit where she's showing me that she's gone, but she's still here. And I feel like there's something going on there with her. Right, now let me just follow this. Right, now I know I'm not arguing with you, honestly, love, that your grandfather passes before your nan. But is there something, I still feel like she's gone, or there's something that happens before he passes. Does she move into a home or start struggling in some way while he's still here?
She couldn't do as much.
Okay.
And I think the vascular dementia started while he was here, but she wasn't completely gone.
Right.
But she needed more help before he went. So,
right, okay, because I just felt like she kept taking me on the timeline. Sorry, I've just slightly interpreted that wrong. But she's very determined, is your grandmother. Yes. And I can just see her. She was like, no, this is happening 7 or 8 years before he passes. And she keeps taking me back to it. This time point. So I know there's something there, even if I've got it slightly wrong. Okay. And in that, following his passing, she needs help. Does she go into a home or have some sort of care?
She moves into my aunt's.
Right, okay, because I can see her moving home because she needs to be looked after. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me just see what else she wants to show me. Right. She's such a typical old school lady, because I can see she's loving. Family is really, really important to her, but there's a toughness there. She doesn't namby-pamby you. If it needs doing, you've got to get on with it. If you fall over, you've got to pick yourself up. There's huge amounts of love, but also very practical, very pragmatic kind of lady. Okay. And I know we've talked about the mental issues, but I also want to talk here about pain in her hands. Do you understand this?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, because I could feel that also getting in there, and that's frustrating because she's got the mental sort of knows that things aren't quite working the way that they should, but there is also the wanting to be in control and do things and being tired and being unable to, that I need to recognize here. She's showing me here as well. Did you buy her a pair of slippers?
Possibly. I can't remember.
She's just showing me a pair of she's sort of sitting there because she's quite takes pride in her appearance, I would feel, your grandmother, but I also can feel her sort of getting into slightly more comfortable things, and I can feel putting on slippers and going, oh, that feels better. I can't be bothered to try and maintain the way that things should be. Now, is there a connection with the name Mary in your grandmother? Mary or Mary?
My middle name's Mary. And my daughter's middle name's Mary. Okay. And my other nan's middle name was Mary. So
okay. Oh God, I'm attacking the nans. This always happens to me. I'm not backing into the other one. I'm still with the same lady. Okay. Let me just see some more from her. She's also making me raise her birthday around this time of year. Springtime.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, my brother-in-law's just had his birthday.
Oh, okay, good. She used to show me from the spirit world. It's so hard, isn't it, when you're in the city zone? You're like, what? Hey, I'm here.
I'm here. Yeah.
Okay, good. Right. And the last thing that I want to say, because I'm trying to communicate with your grandfather for you here, is she is showing me her home is, I feel like there's a lot of florally things and photographs and bits and bobs out. You understand this? It feels like she's got lots of ornaments, lots of cushions, lots of cozy, and as I just looked at you on the screen there, she's showing me an orb around you. So I think that you've been seeing spirit around you, like a little flash. It just came around and across you really quickly. That is them letting you know that they're around, because she just did it and said, tell her that's
sit in the corner of my eye.
It just went round the back of your head and like that, and I saw it. So good, excellent. Let me Right. Now, your grandfather, just a really lovely man, and very funny, because he's just stood there saying, I think she's finished. I'll try and come in if she'll let me. And this just feels, again, like their relationship. There's
that's quite true.
He's let her run her course. Now he's happy to come in. Now, he's showing me an old clock. Did he have an old clock that kept breaking? Do you remember?
They had a cuckoo clock, and I don't know if it. I think it might have. I don't know if it kept breaking. And there was a couple of clocks actually, so I'm not sure which one.
Okay.
I think there was one that kept breaking.
Because he's showing me taking the back off it and trying to fiddle with it himself. And
he would have done that.
Yeah, I can see all the little cogs that he's got, he's trying to get it up and working again. So he's a very practical man, likes to fix things, likes to have a bit of a fiddle, very comfortable in his male role here. Now, okay. He would have served, is that correct? In the forces?
In the Home Guard, I believe.
Okay, I could just see him in a uniform, but going right back in time here. Okay, and there will be pictures of him in his uniform that are still in the family.
Most likely, yeah.
Okay,
I'd imagine, because they've all been spread about, I think. So
okay, it's just he looks like a kid. That's the way I want to phrase it. He looks like, he
would have been, I would have thought, I think he would have been quite young.
He looks like a little boy dressed up in a uniform when I can see it. So I will set him some homework to get that picture across to you, so you can
tell him
see it
to.
and go, okay, let me just. Now, he feels kind of laid back. He's very happy with what he wants. He just wants his dinner. He wants his family around every now and again. He wants to potter around and fiddle with his stuff. He's just I think that's why he's got that tongue-in-cheek humour, because your grandmother's like a big ball of energy and fussy, not in a horrible way, but just got to get this done, got to get it right, got to be in control of this. What's going to happen with them? Worried about this, sticking her oar in with that, doing this over here. And your grandfather's just sort of like, let her get on with it. What will be, will be. And he's got a really lovely, relaxed way. Now, am I right with your grandfather? There's a breathing difficulty.
It's in his chest area. I don't know if he had trouble breathing. I'm not sure.
Okay.
He may have.
But something that is making me very aware of a weight in my chest. It feels.
Yes, I can take that.
Okay. And I do feel like he passes in hospital. Is that correct?
No. But
Okay, let me just follow this then. Okay. He's not on his own when he passes, is he?
No.
Let me just try and follow this. And it is expected that he is going, because people have gathered to say goodbye to him.
This is really complicated, and I don't want to say nothing. But
okay,
I don't know if you want me to say, I'll say. But
no, let me try and work through it first.
I can get it's making kind of sense, but
okay. I just feel that he is making me feel like people came to say goodbye to him, and I feel that his passing. Now, this is a funny thing. It's unexpected in the sense that it's quite quick, but there is time for some people certainly to gather to say goodbye to him. Am I on the right track here? Have I totally lost the plot?
Yeah.
Okay, go on, tell me, because I'm desperate to know now.
He had esophagus cancer, and they basically said there's nothing they could do for him. And he'd been in hospital about 3 days before to have a stent put in to help him eat, where it was. And then he had a massive heart attack 2 days later. And my nan was there, but then my dad, my aunts and uncles all arrived at the house to say goodbye once he'd passed, and they were all there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. That's why I'm getting hospital vibe. Okay, interesting.
That's a bit of a complicated one, wasn't it?
Well, it's you need it. You need to pick through it. I just could see him lying in bed, and I could hear hospital beeps. So I'm obviously just getting my timeline slightly modelled up here. Okay. Let me just follow this with him. It's a really funny thing, because he would have liked to have gone quite quickly. I don't think he wanted a big fuss. He didn't like going to hospital. He didn't like being poked and prodded.
100%.
I know you've said about food, but I have to talk about food being very important to him before he passes,
Yeah.
because I know that that's one of his big pleasures gone for him.
Yeah.
And let me just follow this. And I do feel like he is fighting to stay. He's having the treatment stuff for your grandmother, not because he really wants to be poked and prodded.
Yeah,
and
he was worried
thing.
about my nan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So he's making me aware of all of that going on there. Now, within that, he also wants to acknowledge, I know you said that everyone gathered after he passes, people not being able to say goodbye to him. And I feel like there is the quite short after his passing gathering of people around, but he also wants to acknowledge here, and this must be you saying goodbye to him later, privately. So I don't feel like it's in the presence of him. It might be that you've said it at home or alone.
Yeah,
because he's wanting to acknowledge that as well, that he heard everything that was said and he knows how loved he was. And that feels connection with the name John.
Not that I can think of.
Okay, no, that's all right.
No, not that. Possibly they knew loads of people, but not that I know.
Not close enough for it to make sense.
No.
So don't say yes if it's a no, but I can just, okay, he's not changing that, so I'm just gonna park that off to one side. Bear with me one
It could be me.
Don't. Yeah. You'd want it to be near enough to make sense, otherwise what's the point? Okay. Now he's also showing me here, your grandparents are resting in the same place, is that correct?
Yes,
because I feel like that's important. He's acknowledging that. And do you know of things being put in his coffin with him? Was there a letter or a note put in with him, or some sort of piece of paper?
I wouldn't know that.
Okay. I just feel like it's a weird experience, but I can feel things being slipped in around me. So I feel like there's stuff put with him. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me just see. Okay. He's also making me aware that you have got a ring of your grandmother's that he bought her.
I haven't got a ring.
Lies. Let me work with him. He's quite insistent on that. Is one coming to you, do you think, one day?
I don't know who got the rings.
Okay.
As grandchildren, we got to choose some jewelry.
Okay.
But there wasn't a ring.
Okay.
But I don't know, maybe not
Okay.
that
I keep seeing an emerald. So I'll leave that with you.
Okay.
Not that you can demand people. It doesn't work. It doesn't hold up in a court of law. You can't say my granddad came in and I want this because Hannah says. But I just feel that he's making me. I mean, it's definitely a ring. Interesting. Let me just see what else he can show me then. Right. There's also a china or a tea set of some variety that's been passed on.
Yes, possibly. She had loads of bits and bobs.
Yeah, so, I can see that.
I can't remember what my mum and dad had.
I know, homework.
That's not. Yeah, I'm going to have to look into that because there was stuff passed on, but I can't.
Yeah,
I can't remember what it was.
Don't worry. It feels like it was almost ornamental to them, like it would have been stuff that wasn't used. That's how I want to say it. Like they've got this teapot that's for precious, but it's never been actually had a cup of tea made in it, that kind of thing. And I think that's gone on into the family and is being used because
the
children
most
have gone,
likely.
The children have gone, no, we've got to use this. We can't just hold on to all this stuff forever, because there was a lot of stuff. I need to acknowledge that as well. Your grandmother certainly kept a lot of things, and your grandfather had a lot of bits and bobs, didn't he, that he for fixing things?
Yes,
because I can see that as well, because he's saying he didn't know when it was going to come in useful, so he just wouldn't get rid of things. So there's a lot going on there that had to be sorted out that I need to acknowledge. Okay. Now, your grandfather is taking me to you, his relationship with you. And I need to talk here about a very special bond between the two of you. It feels like you are each other's person. There's a lot of family, I feel, and a lot of noise and a lot of people, but you and him, there's some sort of understanding, kindred spirits, like minds. And he is showing me here, he must have a picture of you being like a toddler and sat on his lap, because I can just feel this lovely memory lifting you up and looking at you. You bring him a lot of joy always, and that's not to take away from anyone else, because I know that he wants to be fair to all the grandchildren, and I know there's quite a few of them, but I have to acknowledge this connection here because you're very similar in temperament, very calm. I can feel that there's bigger characters, noisier characters in your family that bring noise and movement, but you and your grandfather were very still and steady, and it's almost like you just have a moment when everybody else is making all that noise and chit chat and everything's the bubbling family, and you would just sit there and go, how's things with you? And it would just be very steady, and he loves that. He really does. You would have stayed with them when you were little or been looked after by them quite a lot. I feel like you're quite a regular in their home when you were
we
a
used
child.
to visit them. Yeah, we used to stay over sometimes, but we'd see them a lot when we were younger. So
because I feel like it's almost like a second home. You're in and out, and it feels very comfortable and cozy, and just really lovely, very special times for them.
Yeah.
Okay. See, I know this is a really stereotypical grandfather thing, but he keeps showing it to me. It's the second time gardening. Does he like gardening? Okay, yeah. Because I keep going, no, please. And he's like, no, you have
no, he does like his garden.
Yeah, because he liked to take you around and show you what he'd been up to in it and things like that. And I feel like this is important to him. And also, they got a rose connected with their resting place.
I think they may have, actually. I know there's flowers and stuff put on there regularly.
Yeah.
Most likely.
I just feel like it's a plant rather than a cutting.
Yeah, I think there's some plants. I do think there's probably some plants there.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I'm honest, I haven't been there because I'm sure there is.
They're not worried, but you can check that. He can, because he just took me down the flowers route. And I do feel, again, I want to talk about, I know it's spring in the UK right now, but daffodils, tulips, he's got that kind of connection with the spring flowers, and I can see them all coming up and him loving that. Okay. Oh, okay. They're still going on spring flowers. Hyacinths in the kitchen, the bulbs in the water, the really strong smells. Do you know the ones I mean?
No, he did have lots of, I don't know. Not that I remember, but he did have things going on.
Yeah, lots. I just feel like there's lots of plants in the house as well.
I'm rubbish with plants as well. So.
Okay, no, that's all right. They're like in a glass jar with water, and you see the roots, and they have big heads, and they really smell really floral. And I could just see them on a windowsill. So that might just pop into your head later, or you'll see it in the back of a photo. You know how it goes. Okay.
I'm sure someone will say.
Yeah. Okay. Did he ride a bike when he was younger? Not.
Yes.
Yeah, because I just feel like he's showing me, like he's quite well known in his community. Like he would cycle around and people would say good morning to him, and it seems like people knew him. Let me just follow this with him. Did he do some sort of community work or community job where he was out in the community? I've said the word
but everyone knew him, and he'd help, and he used to help the old dears back from the club, and everyone knew him.
Yeah, I just feel like wherever he goes, he's known. Everybody is asking after him, seeing how he is.
Yeah,
he just feels like he's really embedded in that there, and he loves that. That's everything to him. Okay. Did he do some sort of building, plumbing kind of job, fixing it job? work-wise?
No.
Okay. Trying to show what he must have been a real champion DIYer then, because he's showing me like plumbing pipes and stuff, because I feel like he's turning his hand to fixing things that I would think were a big job.
He would turn his hand to try and fix most things.
Okay.
Yeah.
And in slightly unorthodox ways. Do you understand this? Like he would.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Because I just feel like he's going, well, it's working, and everyone's there going, yeah, but how long is that going to last, or is that safe? And he's
I think I know what he's referencing there, actually. But
okay.
Yeah, it's
okay. Would that be something to do with plumbing and water? What he's referencing to you?
No, it's
okay. Right. He's definitely showing me like a leak. And I have to acknowledge this. And you, again, I'm trying not to give you things that you have to look up, but it's almost like he's fixed it with tape around it and this, that, and the other. And
I can take it, but it's not. Do you want me to say?
Yeah, go on.
My dad's exhaust went and it was leaking on the way home from holiday, and he fixed it with a tomato can. So it's kind of a pipe. So I can see the pipe reference and the leak.
I could just.
But I don't know if that's what you were seeing. But he emptied a tin of tomatoes, cut it open, and click what those clip things, and everyone was like, "How long is that going to last for?" But it lasted ages. Mum and Dad didn't have to get an exhaust for ages because it fixed it for a while. That's the story. I was quite young.
Okay,
but
amazing.
Yeah, so I don't know if that's what you were kind of, but that's a pipe and fixing.
Do you know what? I'd love to say yes, because that would make me look good, but I actually don't feel like it is. I feel like this is something in a home, and it's almost like he's got duct tape and he's just stuck it around it or something like that, and he's gone, it'll be fine, it will hold, and it did. But everyone is just like, what? And I do. It's not car piping I'm seeing. I do feel like this
is definitely pipes. No, that's fine.
Yeah. So, but thanks. Let me. Okay. Right. Now, obviously, I know things that are happening in your family, so I'm resisting him a little bit here with what he wants to talk about, but I've got to trust him with what he wants to go. So I need to talk here about him being in spirit quite some time now. It feels like at least a decade. Is that right?
Oh, blimey. No, not quite.
Not quite.
To think. No, I'm trying to think what. No, it's not quite a decade.
Not quite a decade, but around that you would understand. Because I just need to acknowledge here, it feels like he's wanting to acknowledge the family growing and expanding. And I don't think it's just with what I know is going on with your life. I feel like there's more things that he wants to acknowledge have happened that he has seen from the spirit world. And this feels important to him. That he says that he's been a part of it. He's also showing me you and the encouragement that all of the spirit world are bringing you to follow your path and follow your dreams. And I know that we were talking before we went live, and he's acknowledging the feeling of setbacks and restriction that still feels very prevalent around you at this time. And I know you're really trying hard to be on the positive side of it, and it's okay, and I'll keep going, and it's not a no, it's a one day. But there is definitely a feeling here of them trying to push you. And I think you're watching other people follow their passions and their dreams, and you're holding a space for them to be able to do that. But there's also this sense here from the spirit world of needing you to prioritize yours as well. And
I can take that.
Yeah, it feels like he's really pushing you in that, because your dreams are a change of everything. It's not just, I want to do this one thing. It's, I want to live somewhere else. I want to do something else. I want a completely different quality of life. And it just keeps being almost pushed back by other stuff. But you've got to keep that momentum, keep that determination. And some of that will be sitting in other people's discomfort as you don't make it easy for them so that you can have what you want. And I feel that that's what he's saying.
I'm not good with that, but yeah, he's
yeah,
a bit of a kick up the bum, isn't it? He's giving me a bit of a kick of the bum.
Okay. And he's also been talking here about, and I don't feel like this is current. I feel like this is while he's been in spirit, but somebody suffering with their mental health around you. I don't feel like it's you. And you asking for spirit's help and them wanting you to know that they were there and sending that healing and sending that light and trying to get them to work through it. And it does feel like they've pushed through it, but it also feels like this must be someone very close to you, because it also feels like, you know, that the change, this is like a carrot for you, the changes that you need, that you want, they're tied up in that as well. Happiness, choosing what you want and that kind of thing. So there's a little motivational push for you from the spirit world. Okay. They are so proud of you and your family.
Aww.
They have loved watching your kids growing up and becoming real people, but that sounds like a weird thing to say, but you know what I mean.
No, I know what you mean.
People, you've done a good job with them. You've worked so hard for your family for so long, and it has really paid off, but it's definitely now time to pick you. He's showing me a robin. Do you have a bird that visits?
See a robin, and my parents see a robin as well.
It's him. Yeah. He's wanting you to know that that's him. He's always there. They're always around, and he loves you. They love you. Or
I love them.
They love you.
Yeah.
Can't leave her out.
No, I love them too. Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Have you got anything, actually, before I just completely tie off, have you got anything you want to ask them, Kath, while I've got them?
No, I don't think I do. That was really lovely. So thank you. Yeah, it was good.
Okay, well, I hope that you enjoyed that, and let me just read aloud to you the feedback from Kath. Hey Hannah, firstly, thank you for my lovely reading earlier. I hope I was a good sitter. So I've spoken to Mum and Dad to get some clarification on bits I wasn't sure of, and even stuff I was. This was my paternal grandparents. Birthdays around now. I remembered after that a couple of my cousins, their grandchildren, have their birthdays now. I wasn't sure on the floral, but Mum and Dad said the wallpaper was florally, and Nan always had flowers in a vase. The clock, the cuckoo clock, Grandad would wind it up all the time and hated if it ran out. They are fairly sure it went wrong a few times and Grandad fixed it. Grandad was in the National Service as he wasn't quite old enough for the other. He would have been later teens. He would have driven the lorries transporting the prisoners of war to different sites, and Dad remembers seeing a photo of him in his uniform. The name John, his nephew was Johnny, and they are fairly sure my granddad's stepdad was John. Roses on the grave, yes, and it's a potted one. Ring, Mum doesn't know, as my aunt sorted the jewellery and Dad didn't get to see it all. There's nothing about me getting one from that side. Not sure about emerald. Mum doesn't remember seeing one, but again they didn't see all that when it was being sorted out. However, I'm due to inherit my maternal grandmother's engagement ring one day. Tea set, not sure, but there was a Widdicombe men that Mum and Dad inherited from my grandparents. Daffodils. Grandad's birthday was on Daffodil Day. My great aunt, his sister, knitted him a jumper with daffodils on for his birthday one year, and Nan had the hyacinths around the house. Told you I was rubbish with plants. Mum remembers their outside toilet pipe having tape around it. Community. He would always be helping his neighbours. They would regularly attend the local elderly places for bingo and things like that. Nan would go home on her mobility scooter, and Grandad would make sure the other local elderly ladies got home safe. Riding a bike. That's how my grandparents met. They'd cycle everywhere and later got a tandem. How cool. Dad remembers having a seat on a crossbar of Grandad's bike when he was small. My aunt put glass guardian angels in his coffin. Job fixing things. He drove lorries, but I didn't realise he was a lorry mechanic in the earlier days too. He said to me a few weeks before he died that when he goes, he'd like to go quickly. People missing saying goodbye. I thought all my aunts and uncles had got there before they took his body away, but one of my aunts and one of my uncles lived quite far away and didn't get there whilst his body was still at home. Amazing. Thank you, Hannah. I know they are around me, but it's always so lovely to hear a message from someone else. Grandad was 88 when he passed and Nan was 90. They were married for 65 years. And then Kath sent me just the most beautiful set of photos, one of which I have picked to be the cover for this podcast. And that actually made me really emotional. Just the honour of this job. It's an absolute honour. And to have that little insight into people's lives and who they are and who they still continue to be, that's just incredible, isn't it? So if you are a developing medium, there were things in there that I didn't get right because that's not how mediumship works. We don't get 100% of the things right all of the time. But there were some things that Kath couldn't take in the reading, which made sense later. So if you are getting those, it's okay if they remain those, but it's also okay to know that they might turn into a yes later on. I hope that you have enjoyed listening, and I will have another one of these for you shortly. Take care.